Good morning. We've been faced with a fairly dynamic weather situation. The models have been uncertain, the forecasts have been varied, and this has posed a challenge to respond as far as the snow and ice on the streets. We've had crews out since Saturday. We wanted to get on the other side of the precipitation that we had so that it didn't just all wash away, and we put out a dusting of salt sand mix. Since that time, we've had somewhere between 55 and 60 trucks out all during that time, full deployment. The idea with the salt sand mix was to try to make the precipitation, the ice and the snow, when it did come, not stick to the road as much, make it easier for us to treat. And what we've seen is the roads are in pretty good shape, and they continue to be better. We've made it through our priority routes 3 times now this morning. We're going through again. We're also going to our secondary routes, which are neighborhood collectors, school routes, those sorts of places, and then also trouble areas, approaches to stoplights, approaches in neighborhoods, intersections, and elevated roadways, with the idea that we'll continue to put down salt sand mix, and where we get accumulations of snow and slush, we'll push it off. There's about a 30% chance currently. The forecast calls for some snow, maybe up to an inch today during the day, maybe about another 30% chance tomorrow. So we will operate all 60 plow trucks through Tuesday. We may adjust the amount down a little bit depending on what we actually see today and tomorrow. And so what we do is continue to monitor the weather and to make changes as needed. And as a result, we think that the city streets, the arterials, are in pretty good shape, and we expect that they will continue to get better. Any questions?
When you're dealing with ice like what we had, what kind of problem does that pose you guys? Obviously, that was pretty significant.
Yeah, the ice, unlike snow, you can't plow it off the road, and so you really have to rely on salt to treat it. And if you have heavy rains right before that the ice forms, a lot of times you'll get the salt gets washed off. Well, we were fortunate in that we had a break from the time of the heavy rains to the time that the ice started coming, actually forming, and we were actually able to get out there and put some of the salt sand mix down. That makes the bond between the ice and the road less. It also melts some of the ice, and that with the traffic on it, we're seeing that it's breaking up into kind of a slushy mix. In some places, the roads are actually barren wet. So the salt seems to be doing its job, but that's the challenge, is that you can't plow it off like snow. You have to treat it with salt. We have have used so far about 1,000 tons of salt with this latest effort. We fully stocked, we're at about 11,000 tons. So we've used about 1,000 tons of that 11,000 tons, and we've got new orders in. That's it.
How long does it usually take those new orders to fulfill?
Well, at the beginning of the season, when everyone's fully stocked, it's a little bit quicker, maybe a couple of weeks. As you get into the winter and stores start depleting, sometimes it can be months. Fortunately for us, though, we have added a big amount of emergency stores to our supplies, so we can go through an entire winter without having to rely on resupplies through orders.
Do we get ours from
Hutch, and then one place a little bit further west from there. There's 2 places that we get ours from.
How efficient are those trucks? How much diesel do they burn through in a day? Do you have any idea?
Boy, I don't have that number on me. But as you can imagine, a big dump truck full of sand, they're not really very fuel efficient. So we burn through quite a bit of fuel, if that's kind of what you're getting to. Absolutely, we do, yeah.